Minister, you're very welcome to the House, and what a pleasure it is to have you here. You're a very proactive minister in this entire area, and I'm delighted to see you pick up the mantle and do what has to be done. I was particularly happy to see you sign an agreement with our colleagues in Finland in recent times, and I know that myself and others have met you recently to discuss training in the whole cyber area, and it is my hope in the very near future we will see the rollout of a cyber range that will be available to those who are concerned about the security of their systems in an agreement with companies in Estonia, for example. We had a cyber attack here on the HSE, and I guess it's one of those things that you can never prevent. As you and I discussed recently, the attacker only has to get it right once. We have to get it right all the time to prevent attacks on our systems. And I'm delighted to see Comreg is in here and there's work being done on Comreg. I'd like to see them seriously strengthened. I also think that the time has come, Minister, that cyber and cyber issues are now out there in the open. Everybody is aware that something about cyber. I think we have to come out and be far more visible on the types of attacks that can take place. A very innocent one in my own case, very recently, signing up to a particular thing through an internet service provider. My credit card, the first credit card I put in was rejected. The second card I put in was rejected. And 20 minutes later, I got my first phone call from Permanent TSB to tell me that my card had just been used for a particular website. 20 minutes after that, AIB rang me to tell me my card had just been used. And I would regard myself as somebody who is highly aware of cyber and cyber criminality, but it just goes to show how easy it is to be slipped in these things. So I believe what you're doing here is well timed. Of course, the issue, Minister, as you well know, is always the fact that technology is racing ahead of all of us all of the time. So the legislation will have to be extremely robust and flexible. There will have to be flexibility in the legislation that allows the Minister of the day to make statutory instruments, for example, to meet oncoming threats. And I know that you've put a lot of work on this. I know that the bill has gone through the Dáil now. I would hope, I'm going to go through it in more detail with some colleagues, but I would hope that we would not delay this bill in any way and get it through the House as quickly as possible. I would ask, Minister, that the National Cyber Security Centre, you have done good work there now. They're in place and there's staff being employed and things like that. I think I'm always against private operators in public areas, but I think the National Cyber Security Centre, working in very close cooperation with private operators, is vital for this state, given the amount of foreign direct investment we have in the country. So from that point of view, I'm really happy to see you bring this legislation on board. I'm happy that we're not the lagger in the EU. We're somewhere around the middle with respect to transposing the legislation, and that's good. I suppose, Minister, the one thing that has saved us to date is the fact that the multinationals that are here, particularly the IT sector, they have taken care of their own security. I do think, and I would ask you, as somebody who sits at Cabinet, we really do need to start to look at a national intelligence service and a Director of Intelligence for Ireland. We have too many agencies who operate within their own sphere, but we have, as far as I'm aware, and I've been speaking about this for a number of years, we have nobody who's dragging all of the intelligence into a central area. And I think, although your portfolio is quite full, I think it would be an area that your portfolio would suit, to have a Director of National Intelligence working in association with your department. I would also like to see the National Cyber Security Centre moved closer to government buildings, where they would have direct access to the Taoiseach's office if they need that. I think having them where they are is simply not good enough. If you look at national cyber security in other countries, they all have direct access to the Prime Minister, and the minister of the day. And I would like maybe that would be considered in the near future. I can see that I'm running out of time. So, Minister, look, I don't propose to impede anything in this bill and to support you in any way I can. And I want to thank you for coming here today with the bill. And I hope that we can always work together the way we have. Thank you very much for your time.